Welcome, friends. My name is Avinash and I welcome all of you to another interesting episode of Corporate Face-to-Face series. Friends, as all of you are aware, in these episodes, we introduce to you emerging companies from emerging sectors, and we make it a point to talk to the promoters and the top managements of such companies so that we can understand their companies in a much better way. We get to know their business model, their growth journey, their future growth plans, and in this process, a lot of valuable information is available to investors who can then take a very conscious investment call. And friends, today we are going to talk about another interesting company which is going to go public very soon. The company's name is Jinkushal Industries Limited. And I have the privilege of having Mr. Abhinav Jain, who is the whole-time director. And we also have Mr. Sumit Kumar Barlia, who's the executive director and the CFO of the company. So both of you, thank you very much for the time. I think it is my pleasure to host both of you. And I'm quite sure that in this small interview, we'll be able to, understand your company's operations in a much better way.
Sure.
Yeah. So first question, I think, which is very elementary. I think, which we would like to know, what is the broad business model of the company, and what's the kind of positioning of our company in terms of the product we sell. That is point number one. And secondly, if you could share with us, how did this business journey start? Like, how did this business start? Whether it was a first generation business or whether it was started, earlier and then I think, you took over. So if you could please share your thoughts.
Sure. Hi. Thanks a lot, Avinash, for giving us the opportunity to tell everyone about our business. So we are in the niche business of exports of used, refurbished, new customized, and own brand sales of construction machines. We sell in over 30 plus countries across 6 continents. We are a three-star export house recognized by the government of India via DGFT. And we are the largest non-OEM construction equipment exporter in India, holding 6.9% market share in our segment. And from a Raipur-based family business, we have now really grown to a multinational company with offices in 3 countries, one in Dubai, the other one in US, Kissimmee, Florida. And as you rightly pointed out, my Dadaji, about 5 decades or 50 years ago, started the mining contracting business in south of Chhattisgarh. And ever since our family, my Dadaji's brothers, my Dadaji's cousins, my papa's brothers, my father's cousins, my cousins, they've all been doing something or the other related to mining and construction equipment. They've not been exporting them or something, but the whole family, the Khandan type of thing, everyone is related to something or the other.
Okay.
So the unique positioning that we have as a brand is we sell used and new construction machines. We buy them from all across India or the world, repair them, refurbish them, or we buy new construction machines. We add some customization or accessories or attachments on them and then just export them all across the world.
Okay, understood. Very nicely articulated by you. Abhinav, now tell me one thing, like, if you could tell us in a very simple way for our viewers, what are the products? I believe there are a host of products, which are mentioned in the prospectus, but if you could just simplify us, what are the key products where we, take the second-hand product, refurbish it, and then again sell it to the customer? So if you could please tell us on this.
So if pictures speak louder than words, maybe the viewers can probably see the demo models behind me. These are the excavators, backhoe loaders, or in common terms, as Bisleri is called water. I mean, water is called Bisleri. So like backhoe loader is called JCB. Those are the kinds of really product that we deal in construction, road, mining equipment, which are visible every day in a developing country like ours, and that's exactly what we do.
Okay. Abhinav, where do you source these equipment from? Is it largely from global kind of markets or from India? कहाँ से आपकी sourcing होती है? Or do you have any kind of relationship with any vendor where you have a regular kind of arrangement? Because these kind of equipments, you need to have good vendors. So how does the whole thing work? How does the sourcing strategy work from our side?
So I believe more than 55-60% of our sourcing is from India for used new construction equipment, and around 35-40 is from overseas other countries. And as you rightly pointed out, these are large B2B contractor suppliers who sell these machines to us due to lack of consent and confidentiality. I don't want to disclose any supplier names,
Yeah.
but any large infrastructure players in India currently who is probably making road, railways, airports, managing airports, whatever. These are our suppliers, and these are the people who really sell us machines, the big mining companies and whatnot.
Okay.
So they are our regular suppliers basically.
Okay. Acha, now, if you could tell me something, Abhinav, on the product, I think on your own product, I believe you all have developed one product here, Hext. If you could tell us something about that, what is
Excel.
the
Yeah.
product all about? Kabhi develop ho gaya, and what's the kind of strategy? what is the kind of positioning you all are trying to give to this product?
So, with 5 decades of an industry experience and sitting on the other side of the table as users of these machines in our family, we understood very well the pain points की मशीन में क्या खराब होता है, कैसे खराब होता है, बार बार वही चीजें कौन सी खराब होती है। एंड कार हो या मोबाइल फोन हो या कंप्यूटर हो, लोग बोलते हैं ना इस ब्रांड का दिस इज बेटर, दैट इज बेटर, इस ब्रांड वाला ये अच्छा नहीं बनाता है, राइट? सो वी जस्ट टुक दोस पेन पॉइंट्स ऑफ द कस्टमर्स, टर्न देम इनटू engineering solutions ourselves. Me being a mechanical engineer, my father being a mechanical engineer as well, holding 37 rich years of experience by my father, a couple of almost close to a decade experience of myself. We utilize all those things and our family history and legacy. And we really thought we already have the distribution network, we have the sales coverage in and marketing distribution presence in so many countries and continents. Why not really just make our own product, since now we understand the exact intrinsic needs of the customers? So we took that, we made a customer centric, value driven, trendy and friendly and a feature rich machine, and we really launched it in the market with easy maintenance concept, straightforward sales USPs, no hidden things, and cost of ownership on a total wholesome basis. So it's the first year of launching, and they're still early on, but there is traction, and there is good customer feedback for our brand, and I think there is something really that we struck gold over here.
Oh, fine. Nice to know that. Tell me one thing, in terms of pricing, is this product more cost competitive compared to the refurbished and the second-hand product? And secondly, is there any service element for our business? Like, machine कभी खराब हो गई, तो उसमें service support, maintenance, O&M कुछ ऐसा होता है हमारे business में?
Sure. So there are three different verticals. First of all, used refurbished machines and new customized machines are totally different and not comparable exactly apple to apple. जिसको use खरीदना है वो use खरीदेगा, जिसको new खरीदना है new खरीदेगा.
बराबर.
And sometimes when the lead time is very high for new, that's when people switch to used.
Correct.
Otherwise, अगर दोनों available है तो जिसको जो खरीदना है अपने बजट के हिसाब से वो वही खरीदेगा.
बराबर, ठीक है.
So that is one aspect. About the Hexel brand, we do give service assurance and back-to-back warranty, and we get it outsourced by contract manufacturers. So there is completely back-to-back warranties. We use engines of Cummins, etc. So Cummins का खुद का वारंटी होता है. They are a global brand. 200 कंट्री वर्ल्ड में तो 200 की 200 कंट्री में Cummins है. So
हाँ.
everyone knows that, and service centers are there. In used machines, we sell to B2B or distributors or customers. तो वो लास्ट पॉइंट सर्विस वो देते हैं, बट कोई एथिकल या मतलब अगर कोई मेजर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डिफेक्ट यू कैन कॉल या रिफर्बिशमेंट डिफेक्ट अगर कोई है तो वो हम देंगे. अदरवाइज इफ देयर इज अ यूजेज प्रॉब्लम, देन द लास्ट पॉइंट कस्टमर, द B2C एंड पॉइंट टच बेस विल रियली डू द सर्विस.
Okay. Now, once you said you've said that we sell it to the distributor and then he obviously sells it to the final customer. So technically, can we say that the product has got a very mass appeal? Distributor को आप बेचते हो लेकिन उसके बाद it goes to many final customers. So typically, for a country like Mexico, I was seeing your prospectus. Mexico is one of your large markets. So just tell me how effectively did you choose Mexico as a market? Anything special there which makes you go there and export almost 75% of your revenues? I mean, बाकी इंडिया में भी infrastructure बन रहा है, people would love to see your products in the Indian market also. So any specific reason for Mexico, and will you all try to replicate the model in India, at any point of time?
So the reason for Mexico is in financial year 2023, we were at 30% of our revenue share to Mexico. And it takes a lot of time to go to Mexico. फोन में बात कर रहे हैं तो 12 घंटे का टाइम जोन डिफरेंस है, फ्लाइट में जाना है तो 30 आवर्स का डिफरेंस है, वेसल में अगर मशीन को भेजना है तो 60 to 90 days जस्ट ओशियन ट्रांजिट टाइम है. So what happens is with such a large delivery time as is common in most South American countries, आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट इन वर्किंग कैपिटल साइकिल इंक्रीजेस एंड दैट्स व्हाई यू गेट बेटर पैट मार्जिन्स. सो
Okay.
हैविंग सेड दैट, इनिशियली हमने जब मेक्सिको ब्रेक थ्रू कर लिया, ऑलरेडी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नेटवर्क एंड सेल्स नेटवर्क वाज देयर एंड customers were recurring and the orders were coming and coming, so we obviously took a very, I would say, strategic call that we just thought कि पैट अब कंपनी को ज्यादा कमाना चाहिए by selling more to Mexico. So it is as simple as that. And
Okay.
we still have a lot of geographical diversification. Other countries में भी हम काफी बेचते हैं. It's not like कि हमारा 99% कोई एक country से आता है. And we are keeping all channels alive because so far we had to choose capital with a smaller capital base. As we get incremental capital, we'll kick fire all engines, so every channel will be exploited. Next, India. So we are exporting the engineering expertise of India, basically the cheap mechanical engineering ecosystem and the labor over here available. So if something is available in abundance in any country, quite obviously it will have low demand over there because of the basic supply demand economics. And if something is available in a less abundant or oversupply nahi hai wahan pe, तो obviously it will have more demand. So we are utilizing the cheaper ecosystem and good ecosystem of mechanical engineering, automotive hubs, spare parts, refurbishment, construction equipment, manufacturing hub in India and exporting that to Mexico or any other country. क्योंकि वहां पे पर डॉलर में पर आवर पर डॉलर लाइक दिस चार्जेस आर देयर एज अपोज टू इंडिया वेयर you get mechanics other things easily. So this is the whole USP of exporting, I believe.
Okay, no, no, understood. Very nicely mentioned. Abhinav, tell me one thing. Since Mexico is a large percentage as of now, typically हमारे कितने B2B distributors होंगे? Because customers तो बहुत सारे होंगे because these guys must be selling it
Right.
to the final customer. But currently, based on the current revenue structure which we have, I mean, can you give us a ballpark number? How many distributors you work with? Both for Mexico as
So
well as
in total, yeah, in total we have 50 plus odd, customers all across the world. A large part of it also being in Mexico, but even a larger part of it. So let's say top six or top five people are maybe three are in Mexico, something like this, and but there are still others from other countries. And we are choosing to sell more and more to Mexico as opposed to others because that's what is driving our PAT up, but we still have other customers, good demand over there, and with margin moderations we can sell to them as well. So ultimately it will contribute to the bottom line. So having 50 plus active customers gives us an edge as well.
okay, understood. Now, something about the market opportunity. I think for the first time, I was very impressed by the fact that you're using refurbished machines and exporting it to a country like Mexico. Market size कितना बड़ा होगा? Like अगले 3-5 साल में, hopefully now you will be getting fresh capital. What is your sense? What is the size of the addressable total market for these kind of reused equipments? And how does our company plan to capitalize? Of course, Mexico is a big country for us, a market for us. But overall, do you think other markets abroad also present opportunities for us? If you could please tell us.
Sure. So we sell in more than 30 plus countries, Mexico being just one of them. So
Okay.
वहाँ पे प्रॉफिट ज्यादा है तो वहाँ बेच रहे हैं, बाकी 29 में कैपिटल आएगा तो सब में बेचेंगे.
Okay.
एंड द नेक्स्ट थिंग, 10 लाख करोड़ का ग्लोबल यूज इक्विपमेंट मार्केट साइज था सिर्फ 2024 में एज पर कैरेज रिपोर्ट्स. दैट्स $132 billion और 10 lakhs करोड़.
Okay.
एंड इट इज गोइंग टू ग्रो एट 6.0% CAGR ऑल द वे टिल about $177 billion और ट्रांसलेटिंग इनटू रुपीज मीनिंग अबाउट 16 लाख करोड़. तो
Okay.
इतना बड़ा मार्केट है, वी आर नॉट इवन अ पिंच ऑफ द ड्रॉप इन द ओशन
Okay.
ऑफ इन दिस मार्केट साइज. सो वी हैव अ लॉन्ग हेडरूम एंड दिस इज व्हाई वी नीड कैपिटल. क्योंकि इतना बड़ा मार्केट है तो मेक्सिको अकेले में इतना, मेरे ख्याल से 20,000 करोड़ का मार्केट साइज है.
अच्छा.
तो
ओके.
अभी तो हम क्या 380 करोड़ के रेवेन्यू में पहुंचे हैं.
हाँ.
हमारे रेवेन्यू का शेयर बड़ा है मेक्सिको, बट मेक्सिको के शेयर में तो हम नेग्लिजिबल सिंगल डिजिट में भी नहीं पहुंचे हैं. सो
बिल्कुल.
इट्स अ वेरी लार्ज मार्केट टू कवर सोफा, एंड आई बिलीव द वे इज ओनली अप टू गो फ्रॉम.
I think very nice to know the runway is very large. Tell me one thing that in terms of the service element, like I was just telling you on the service element, is there any kind of kind of arrangement with the customer, like with the B2B distributor, like does he handle all that on his own, or वहाँ पे कोई service support हमारा जाता है, or do we sell the machine and then that's our job? उसके बाद the distributor takes over. Does it work something like that?
It works something like that. अगर कुछ मेजर होता है तो we support with selling of spare parts, and usually warranty or this kind of things works in any business by the end point customer, retail outlet.
हाँ.
It does not work. Any wholesaler or distributor will never give warranty. It will just cover back to back warranty. But जो retail point होता है वो अपने margin को built in करता है उस हिसाब से that he is able to give the small warranty. And these are heavy equipment, like large capital goods with heavy ticket size. So
Okay.
they inbuilt the warranty this way.
So understood. Another thing I wanted to understand now, since you have 50 customers, these B2B distributors, tell me one thing, how does the business work? Is it a order book driven business? उसके हिसाब से आप sourcing करते हो, supply करते हो, या do you have got a regular set of distributors who give you a kind of a demand lineup कि इतनी machines चाहिए? So how does it work?
So I think it's a mix of both, as in any business, since it's a large market and growing and upcoming market. So we get orders as well, जिसके against में हम procure, source, refurbish, customize करते हैं. And then obviously a regular recurring customer base is there. Large part of our customer base is having relationships with us for more than 5 years. And that's what has really made us, like 3-star export house by recurring orders again and again in exports. सो डिमांड लाइनअप ऑलवेज रहता है कि ये चाहिए, ये है तो आप देख लीजिए, या एक्यूमेन भी आ जाता है बिजनेस का इतना कि यू वी नो वेयर टू इन्वेस्ट नाउ, कौन सी यूज मशीन खरीद के रेडी करके रिपेयर करके रखना है विद सो मच इयर्स ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस, ये आसानी से बिक जाएगी. सो इट वर्क्स बोथ वेज.
Okay. So understood. Now, just to understand the qualitative side of the business, see, financials are of course important. But tell me one thing: how do we add value to the customer? Is it only the price element, or is it something over and above the price? Because obviously, you all must be getting a lot of repeat business from your distributors. So, two, three qualitative factors which uh, say that you all do a much better job in the industry. So, one or two points, if you can please tell us.
All right, so very interesting question, and one of the first that I've heard this in so many interviews that I've given during this IPO process. So there are a couple of multi-billion-dollar companies with about $20 billion US dollar market cap globally, which are global companies this way and having such a wide coverage from all the way in all six continents, right? So there is one monopolistic company. After that, there is maybe number two, which is in some regions as well. And then there's a very large gap, and everyone is a regional strong player in their own. So there, I believe we are right over there, becoming a very good enough and large enough global player. We're still at a very small scale, but I believe if there is just one monopoly, there's a huge gap to cover, and always the SME guys can really, do leaps and bounds even if they just become midway. So in that aspect, I believe we are pretty much there. And qualitative aspect that makes us better and why our customers buy us is because I believe we export trust, and trust is the most important aspect that we export, because रिफर्बिश मशीन्स है, यूज मशीन्स है, तो नया खरीदना तो आसान है, यूज में दे विल थिंक ये कल चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा.
हाँ,
न्यू में तो
बिल्कुल.
ये सोचेंगे ना कि थोड़े दिन चलेगा. तो मोस्ट पीपल आर स्कैर्ड कि ये आने वाला है तब कैसा रहेगा, इमीडिएटली आफ्टर डिलीवरी ऑल्सो.
Yeah.
So that's our USP and edge, I would say.
Well, I think very nice to know that you have built trust with the customer, because that is a invaluable qualitative asset, क्योंकि वो balance sheet में तो आता नहीं. Now
Exactly.
tell me one thing, just a casual observation. You mentioned that you deal with 50 distributors, जो आपके products बाद में customer को लेके जाते हैं. In the global market, are there any companies, global companies which are in this business, which are in the large refurbishment business? क्योंकि comparable आपको करना है तो मुझे नहीं लगता है इंडिया में, I have not heard of any
Correct.
company doing it. So is there
Correct.
any, are there any big companies or maybe trading companies which do a similar business in the global market, which we cater?
Correct. So, as I said, there are some multi-billion-dollar companies. Due to lack of consent, again, I will not be able to name them in a recorded interview.
Yeah.
But $20 billion market cap companies, etc. So they do little refurbishment because of the fact that we are lucky to be present in India. Our mechanical engineering expertise, ecosystem, cheap labor in central India, the mining ecosystem and hub over here, all these add value and support. But with lesser degree of refurbishment, of course, there are big global companies doing the same thing that we're doing.
Okay, understood. Acha, now on the financial, Sumit, sorry to keep you waiting. I think very, very basic questions like, 25 has been pretty good. I think 380 crores top line and profit of almost 20 crores. I just wanted to understand that EBITDA has been more or less been flat. I mean, any specific reason why this has been? Because, top line to बहुत अच्छा बढ़ा है. But overall, with this kind of product you have, with this kind of, product positioning you have, which Abhinav mentioned, can we first, without giving a number, can we expect that with better volume, now availability of working capital after the public issue, can we expect the EBITDA to obviously get a better traction as top line also improves? So, पहले तो FY25 में, you can tell us what are the key reasons for the bottom line steady growth, 20 crores, and going forward, working capital अगर एक बार आपको मिलता है, तो can we reasonably assume that top line भी बढ़ेगा and obviously your EBITDA also will, move in a pretty good traction?
या हेलो एवरीवन. डेफिनेटली टर्नओवर ग्रोथ के साथ साथ आपको पैट मार्जिन ग्रोथ मिलती है, बिट्टा ग्रोथ मिलती है, और फ्लैटिश ग्रोथ आपको एक दो साल में दिख रहा होगा. बट हमने अगर 2018 से अगर कंपेयर करें, 2018 में हम 10 सीआर के रेवेन्यू में थे, जहाँ पे पैट भी वॉज वेरी मिनिमल, और वहाँ से 380 सीआर में आए हैं. तो 38 टाइम्स ग्रोथ है इन लेस देन 7-8 ईयर्स. सो
Okay.
एक्चुअली आप एक दो साल में देखोगे तो हमारा बिजनेस भी काफ़ी शिफ्ट हुआ है. आप प्रोडक्ट्स देखेंगे, हम कितने सारे प्रोडक्ट्स में डील कर रहे हैं. ज्योग्राफीज वी आर एक्सपेंडिंग, वी आर डाइवर्सिफाइंग अवर सेल्फ, सो वी आर डेवलपिंग मोर इनटू अ ग्लोबल कंपनी, एंड देन इंजीनियरिंग एक्सपर्टाइज वी आर एडिंग ऑन. So definitely, as the business grows, the EBITDA, PAT, everything will grow and everything will follow actually.
Okay. So understood. सुमित जी, एक और एक क्वेश्चन था कि नॉर्मली हमारा वर्किंग कैपिटल साइकिल कितना होता है सिंस यू एक्सपोर्ट अ लार्ज पार्ट ऑफ योर प्रोडक्ट्स. टिपिकली व्हाट इज द वर्किंग कैपिटल साइकिल राइट फ्रॉम द टाइम यू गेट द ऑर्डर, you source the machine, you refurbish it, and you sell it to the export customer. Sir, in how much time does the customer pay us?
Actually, in any export business, there is a longer working capital cycle. So in our business also, we are having a 120 days working capital cycle altogether. But actually the transit time is higher in case which country we are choosing. If we are choosing a nearby country like UAE, then the transit time is lesser. If we are choosing higher growth country in South America, there is 60 to 90 days transit time. So
Okay.
all that adds and 100 and 120 days working capital cycle we are having currently.
Okay. But typically when you get a confirmed order, do you take some advance? Because ये मशीन ऐसा है कि भाई महंगा मशीन है, आप उसको एक्सपोर्ट करते हो, तो how does the cash flow work? Like does the customer pay you 10%, 20%? आपको कुछ एडवांस मिलता है या बेसिकली इट इज ऑन एलओसी और बेसिकली आपका बैंक का जो गारंटी होता है उसके ऊपर आप काम करते हो?
ऐसा बिजनेस साइकिल का है क्वेश्चन, तो मैं एक बार शिफ्ट करूंगा प्रमोटर्स की तरफ। तो सर एक बार आप थोड़ा एडवांस को लेके थोड़ा अपना व्यू दे दें।
Sure. So basically, Avinash, the question being, it totally depends on financial year 2023. We were working more on the advance collection model, which was obviously resulted in the buyer having more negotiation power to get cash discounts of sort and reduce the margins and reduce the price. And now we have shifted to payment upon delivery kind of model in TT
Okay.
models and
Okay.
direct payment models. So उसमें ही पैट हमको हमारा leverage ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है to negotiate that. And this is exactly what we do.
No, no, understood. I think, Abhinav, what I want to understand is that, see, your profitability, your top line has been pretty good. I think the positioning is also strong. But, from the analyst community, from the financial market, since you all are now going to get listed, सर मार्केट आपका ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लो देखता है. पिछले 2 साल से हमने देखा है कि आपका ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लो माइनस है. आपको वर्किंग कैपिटल आएगा फ्रेश तो आपको बेनिफिट मिलेगा. बट आई वाज जस्ट वांटिंग टू नो दैट वंस द वर्किंग कैपिटल फंडिंग इज, you get a decent amount of funding from the equity route, can we assume that this cash flow will get better, because that will possibly help you get a better premium valuation when you get listed? So on that, if you could share your thoughts.
For sure, for sure. So any growing company, I would say yesterday I was reading an article in Economic Times of Lenskart's revenue and whatnot and how do their graphs look. And any company's graph will always look like this. It will be a wave and then there will be an inflection point after which it will go up and up and up. So
Correct.
I believe we are in that growth stage right now. And what people really need to understand is our true value lies in the asset ऑफ द कंपनी. एज आपने बोला ना, ट्रस्ट है दिख नहीं रहा है बैलेंस शीट
हाँ.
में. सो एनालिस्ट को ये सोचना पड़ेगा कि बिजनेस हम कर क्या रहे हैं और कितने कंट्रीज में कर रहे हैं. थोड़ा सा अप्स एंड डाउन जो वो दिख रहा है माइन्यूट, इधर 1-2% दो उधर परसेंट, सो दैट रियली डज नॉट डिफाइन इट. इट जस्ट शोज कि वी आर ग्रोइंग एंड ग्रोइंग. एंड कैश फ्लो आंसर इज दिस कि देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन द डेट ऑफ बिलिंग, देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन द डेट ऑफ डिलीवरी एंड डिफरेंस बिटवीन द डेट ऑफ डिस्पैच. डेट
Okay.
ऑफ बिलिंग, डेट ऑफ डिस्पैच में मैं रायपुर से मशीन निकाल देता हूँ तो डे जीरो में हो गई. डे
हाँ.
जीरो से 15 दिन में लग गया बॉम्बे पोर्ट को मशीन में मतलब बॉम्बे पोर्ट में मशीन को पहुंचने में, क्योंकि इतनी बड़ी मशीन है, रूम से बड़ी मशीन होती है. उसके बाद 10 to 15 days पोर्ट हैंडलिंग, कस्टम क्लियरेंस, ऑल दिस पोर्ट प्रोसीजर्स एक्सेट्रा. अनदर 10 days मे बी वेटिंग फॉर द वेसल बिकॉज दीज आर लार्ज स्पेशल वेसल्स. सो 40 days तक तो वेसल में लोड ही नहीं हुई मशीन, बट द
हाँ.
बुक्स आर शोइंग रिसीवेबल ऑफ 40 days
Correct.
बिकॉज बिलिंग तो हैज टू बी डन ऑन डे जीरो. सो
Correct.
दैट इज जस्ट गेटिंग लोडेड ऑन द वेसल. ये हम लोग तब होता था जब दुबई या यूरोप बेच रहे हैं कि एडवांस आ गया लोड वेसल के बाद, मे बी सम एडवांस 30% बैलेंस ऑन लोडिंग समथिंग लाइक दैट. नाउ मेक्सिको बेच रहे हैं तो यहाँ से 60 to 90 days और ट्रांजिट टाइम लगने वाला है.
हाँ.
सो
बरोबर.
दैट मेक्स इट 120 days. हमारे बुक्स में रिसीवेबल 120 days पहले रिकॉर्ड हो गया. मेक्सिको के वाले अपने कस्टमर तो ये बोलेगा ना, मेरे को क्या करना है, आपकी मशीन रायपुर में कि ऑन द वाटर है, मेरे को तो तब जब मिलेगी तब मैं करूंगा, राइट.
नहीं.
सो इन द बुक्स इट इज शोइंग एज नेगेटिव कैश फ्लो क्योंकि मशीन निकल गई, बट पैसा बाद में आ रहा है. बट
बिल्कुल.
ऑन रियलिस्टिक बेसिस वी आर स्टिल कंट्रोलिंग द शिपमेंट ऑल द वे टिल द डिलीवरी पॉइंट इन मेक्सिको ना. तो
हम्म.
किसी समय भी हमको नहीं बेचना है तो वी कैन स्टॉप इट.
करेक्ट.
सो
No,
in
no.
that aspect, I don't think our numbers are that in the cash flow aspect not that negative. And
Yeah.
overall अगर वो होते तो on a limited capital, how would we have churned so much?
नहीं नहीं,
Ultimate
आई
point
थिंक
is that, right?
पॉइंट टेकन अभिनव, आई एग्री विथ यू। आई थिंक वन मोर पॉइंट विच इज इंपॉर्टेंट इज, आप अगर मशीन किसी को सप्लाई करते हो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को, तो थोड़ा इन्वेंट्री भी आप रखोगे बेसिकली, टू एंश्योर दैट द कस्टमर इज
Exactly.
द मशीन, सो दैट ऑल्सो कंज्यूम्स अ लॉट ऑफ वर्किंग कैपिटल। सो पॉइंट टेकन।
Exactly.
आई थिंक लेट्स वी बिलीव दैट दिस इज द पार्ट ऑफ द बिजनेस, सो होपफुली आगे these numbers
Exactly.
will improve, and with the public issue you all will get a good amount of liquidity. Coming to this question, Abhinav, it's a historical milestone for you. I mean, the market will now we make you a public limited company. Sir, first of all, what is the amount we plan to raise, and what is the main objective of this funding?
So we are raising about 116.15 crores. Out of that, 105 crores is going for working capital and general corporate purposes. We have no other long-term debt repayments or even short-term debt repayments, or we have no other fixed asset investments. We are an asset-light company, and हमारे business में जो चाहिए सिर्फ working capital ही चाहिए.
Wow.
If there is a business where there is a lot of capex and then also negative cash flow is there, then it makes sense कि अरे ऐसा क्यों है. बट हमारा बिजनेस में सिर्फ इन्वेस्टमेंट ही वर्किंग कैपिटल का है, बिकॉज दीज आर हाई टिकट साइज प्रोडक्ट्स, मतलब एक फैक्ट्री लगाने की जितनी तो एक मशीन आती है 1-2 करोड़, लाइक दैट, राइट? सो दैट्स हायर एंटायर इन्वेस्टमेंट. सो आई बिलीव it's yeah, 116 crores, 105 crores in fresh issue of the company. Post listing shareholding will be 75% of the promoters, and that's pretty much the detail about the issue, I would say.
Okay. Abhinav, now one question, from an investment perspective, like, you have been rightly involved, 24/7 with the company. Now, typically, I believe you must be having a very good team. I think Sumit is there who takes care of the finance function. But, personally, in your own role, what is your functional role in the company? What do you see, whether it is new customers or nurturing existing relationships? Sir, आपका functional area क्या है?
सो आई थिंक बहुत जब छोटा था तब कॉलेज के समय में ऐसा लगता था सीईओ बनना है, सीईओ बनना है किसी कंपनी का. उस समय समझ नहीं आता था कि छोटे हो, ज्यादा लोग है ही नहीं, ऑफिसर दूसरे नहीं तो खुद क्या सीईओ बनोगे, राइट? बट धीरे धीरे आई बिलीव एज आर टीम हैज ग्रोन, आई वाज अर्लियर इनटू बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट, इंटरनेशनल मार्केट्स एक्सप्लोरेशन, ऑल दीज थिंग्स. एंड रिफर्बिशमेंट में पापा ऑब्वियसली हेल्प्स एंड टेक्स केयर ऑफ अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स डोमेस्टिकली. Purchase is also something that I look after. Sales and purchase, I would say, are things that I do. But purchase may we have an entire team, quality control, inspection, purchase managers, GM, and multi-layers, SOP and checks of approvals of purchases. But ultimately, sales, I believe, takes most of my time,
Okay.
and that's what really I do.
Final question, Abhinav, which is very important. I think, typically we are in an export business, and, geopolitical factors are important. What are the most important business risk in our industry? अपना धंधे में सबसे बड़ा risk क्या है? According to you, इतने साल, business चला है. But, since you are exposed largely to the export markets, what is the most important risk in our business?
So I think exports is a market which every country ensures it does not shop with the country, because अगर आप अपनी खुद की कंट्री में बेचते हो तो आप एक हिंदुस्तानी भाई से उसकी जेब का पैसा अपनी जेब में ले रहे हो, वो चाहे बड़ा हो या छोटा हो. On the contrary, when you export something, you are getting revenue and money from someone else's, from some other country's pocket in your country. So
Correct.
that is something that all governments promote. So exports are very good in that aspect. The risk, we inherently, and I inherently am made that way in my mind, that every risk is an opportunity for us and every challenge is an opportunity. So given the fact, like, geopolitical risks are happening in any country, I would say that we are spread in so many countries, diversifying this exact geopolitical risk, that immediately we will see अगर एक कंट्री में माल कम जाएगा तो दूसरी कंट्री में तो बढ़ेगा ही बढ़ेगा ना, क्योंकि
हाँ,
हमारी कैपेसिटी हम कहाँ करेंगे, हमको उधर
हाँ,
पुश करना है.
बिल्कुल.
So we are diversified that way, and I think maybe the biggest risk will be to not be able to capture the global opportunity that lies in front of us, maybe
Correct.
by not get adequate working capital in adequate shots of time.
Well, I think very nicely mentioned, because runway for growth, Abhinav, is very large, and as you rightly said, it's all about execution and delivering that value add to the customer. So definitely, I think good days are there for your company, and I am quite sure, sir, with your leadership, with your team, you all will definitely achieve it. So, sir, it was my pleasure, Abhinav and Sumitji, to talk to you, and I think best wishes to both of you as well as your management teams, and best wishes for your public issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having us.